Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now.
Hi, welcome to SBR4 Videos. I'm Peter Lojak. We are continuing our preview of the main card of UFC 172 right now with Nick Kalikas, a professional MMA odds maker from MMAoddsbreaker.com, and Brad Taschuk, who is a writer and MMA analyst, also with MMAoddsbreaker.com. All right, guys, Tim Boetsch and Luke Rockhold. Now, Luke Rockhold minus 800. This is one of those fights. I was surprised that John Jones wasn't in this range, but John Jones wasn't. Here we do have one of these fights in that range, and we know why that is. Rockhold is kind of like being prepped to be the UFC's one of their next big ticket guys. Boetsch, though, he's one of these gritty underdogs. We saw how he came back against Okami. So, plus 550, this line is getting up there. Nick Kalikas, where'd you open this line?
If I'm not mistaken, it's been out for a while now. So I think it was around 6-1 I opened it, and then it got bet up to over 10-1, actually. At one point, it might even hit 15-1. Again, not, can't say for sure, but I believe that's where the line went at one point. So it's crazy. I know that, with all that sort of movement, it's back down to 800 now. So there's been some significant support, obviously, on Luke Rockhold the most, but now it has dropped down back down to reality a little bit. And I think 8-1 is kind of a fair price for this matchup.
All right, Brad Taschuk from MMAoddsbreaker.com. We agreed that John Jones had some value at minus 500. Here we have Rockhold at minus 800. Obviously, he has a huge edge here. Do you think there's any value with him at minus 800?
I don't think there's a ton of value at this point. I do think that he wins the fight, and I think he wins it fairly comfortably. It's just when you get into that sort of range, there's too much room for error in MMA. The so-called lucky punch, injuries, things like that. Maybe Rockhold's coming in, had a bad camp. You never know what these guys are coming in and what's going on in their camps. So I think it's a little bit too high for me to want to throw it in a parlay or anything like that, but I definitely think Rockhold wins the fight.
Well, how about this? Let me propose this to you. The total right now, it's at 5 times, 1.5 rounds. The over is minus 175. The under is plus 145. And Boetsch is a gritty guy who's capable of hanging around even when he's getting beat. What do you think about maybe a shot with the over 1.5 rounds at minus 175?
Yeah, I definitely think the over is the way to go in this fight. You look at Tim Boetsch's career, and even 2 fights ago against Mark Munoz, he took one hell of a beating in that fight, and he managed to go to decision there. Against Costa Philippou, again, took a big beating in that fight. It went to the 3rd round. So he's got a history of hanging in there, and I think that people are sort of assuming that Luke Rockhold is going to finish this fight and finish it early because of what he did to Philippou, but I think this might even go all the way to a decision.
Nick Kalikas, so what do you think about that? If I'm leaning towards betting the over 1.5 rounds at minus 175, would you recommend that, support it?
I think it makes sense. It'll probably go over 1.5 rounds, but what scares me in this situation is Rockhold's submission game. It's another one of these spots that, the guy has a very underrated submission game, and he's very smart. And, Boetsch has been submitted in the past. He's not the easiest guy to submit, but it has been done before. And Rockhold, like I said, he's so slick. I think a lot of people are probably counting that factor out in this spot. That's what scares me. I wouldn't go crazy betting minus 175 with a guy that can finish, like you just said. His stand-up, even his body kicks, everything. Rockhold can finish the fight standing up, but not just that. Like I said, he can actually probably get the submission win here as well. But common sense says, I agree with you guys, that it should go over 1.5 rounds. But that's why I would be a little bit cautious and wouldn't lay exactly that juice there. It depends on if you see some movement. Maybe there might be some more value if it does move a little bit. But at the spot now, for me, it's kind of stay away.
But the books, suffice to say, the books are probably going to wind up, a little bit heavy on Rockhold and needing Boetsch small.
Actually, hopefully not. I think we will continue to see a little bit of straight bet action coming in on Boetsch. If we don't, we'll probably increase the line back up to maybe 10-1 to try to draw some of that action back. So it all depends, honestly. Every place is going to be a little bit different. It's another spot similar to the Jones fight where I'd actually prefer to go in needing Rockhold slightly. Not a huge decision, but needing Rockhold for sure.
All right. Well, I'm thinking that the best way to bet this fight would be at the on the over 1.5 rounds. Brad Taschuk, would you think that that's the best way to bet here, or is there any kind of prop that you think might be a better way to go?
Yeah, I think that the over is my favorite play on the card right now. I think the other thing that I would take a look at is when the point handicaps come out, Luke Rockhold minus 3.5 would be a great play because you're going to get a little bit of extra value there. I really don't see him losing a round in this fight, and he could get the finish. So all of those things, if they come into play, that would make that minus 3.5 a winner.
All right. Brad Taschuk and Nick Kalikas, thanks once again. Great analysis, guys.